And what's up guys, CB here, and today we are back with another deck profile, and today it is my Blackwing Lynx deck profile. So, if you guys do go and enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button for more of these deck profiles. I'll be happy to bring you guys more of them once I can. I have some decks in mind that I'm trying to make, and this is one of the completed ones, and I'm excited because Blackwings is actually one of my favorite decks. So, let's get right into the profile. Starting off, we're going to run 3 Blackwing Chris the Crack of Dawn. He's one of the best cards in this deck. The fact that he has, out of all the monsters you have, he has the highest attack, and you can special summon him from your hand if you control a Blackwing monster. Also, once per turn, he cannot be destroyed by spells or traps, so that is really handy. Next, we're going to run 1 Blackwing Shore the Blue Flame. He's an alright card for how much attack he has, but his effect is mediocre in the fact that you won't be using it as often. So his effect is, when he destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon a Blackwing monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck, and its effects are negated. So, mediocre effect, high attack, that's why we're running 1. Next, you're going to want to run 3 Blackwing Boar the Spear, another one of the really great monsters in this deck. The fact you can special summon him from your hand if you control a Blackwing monster, and then also he does piercing damage when he attacks a defensive position monster, so that's really cool. Next, 1 Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. You really only need one of these because of his effect. So if he's in the graveyard, you can return 1 face-up card you control to the hand and special summon this card from the graveyard. And if you do, take 400 damage, and you can only use this effect once per duel. So because of that, we only run 1 of these, and also, yeah, you really only need 1. Next, you're going to want to run 3 Kalute the Moon Shadows. He's one of another one of the best cards in this deck. Sorry if I'm saying best cards, but I really do like Blackwings, and I think they have a lot of great cards. Just because it's kind of like they all have their own unique effects that are, well, not unique, but they all have their own great effects that help the archetype. So, basically what he does is, during battle, when a Blackwing monster you control attacks or is attacked, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and until the damage step, that monster gains 1400 attack. So that's really cool if you want to defend, like, a Chris, or a Bora, or basically any other normal, like, generic Blackwing monster, or it's good if you want to protect your synchros. So, that's really handy. Next, 3 Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. I've been on edge on how many to use, but I think 3 is a good number. So what you can do with this card is that you can special summon him from your hand if you control a Blackwing monster, and also once per turn you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and that target's attack and defense becomes half its current attack and defense. So the reason I'm on edge on using 3 of these is because I've actually considered dropping 1 of these, so I'd have 2 Gale and 2 Pinaki the Waxing Moon. But I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I think right now, until I confirm with you guys what's the best option, I think 3 Gale is pretty good. Next, 2 Blizzard the Far North. This card you do not want to see in your opening hand unless you're able to get a level 4 or lower Blackwing monster in the graveyard. Because when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower Blackwing monster from your graveyard in defensive position. So, you really only need 2 of these, just because you don't want to see it first turn, and you can, by normal summoning him, you can special summon a level 4, and then go straight into a Nothung, which is really handy. And also, another reason he's, like, mediocre is because he cannot be special summoned from your graveyard, so cards like Soul Charge don't really work for him. 1 Blackwing Pinaki the Waxing Moon. This is a really good card. This is the card that I was thinking of bumping up to 2 and taking away 1 of Gale. So, with this card, he cannot be used as synchro material except for a synchro summon of a Blackwing synchro monster. During the end phase of this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, so that means either you make a synchro monster, you make a Link monster. I think you can actually make a Link or a Xyz rank 3 with this. It doesn't say anything about that, it just says it can only be used for synchro summons for Blackwing monsters, or he's destroyed by battle. So, if he's in the graveyard for any reason at the end of the end phase, you can add 1 Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand, except Blackwing Pinaki the Waxing Moon. So, that's really handy. So, if you have if Panaki's like your last monster on the field and he gets destroyed, you can use that to add what you'll see in a moment, one Blackwing, go through the Vague Shadow. You can add that to your hand and then go straight into a Decode Talker with that combo, and I'll tell you guys that combo in a second. So, again, only running one of these. Next, one Blackwing, Steam the Cloak. Another great card. So, if this face-up card leaves the field, special summon one Steam token, Aqua type, wind, level 1, attack 100, defense 100. And then if this card is in your graveyard, you contribute one monster, special summon this card from your graveyard. And then you can use this effect of Blackwing Steam the Cloak once per duel. If this card's summoned this way is used as Synchro Material monster, all other Synchro Material monsters must be Blackwing monsters. So that last bit's not too hard because all the monsters in this deck are Blackwings. But he's just a really good card. The fact if he's destroyed, Steam token, destroy Steam token or other monster, bring him back, and then if he's destroyed, token. So that's really cool. But again, you only want to run one of these. One Blackwing, Gladius the Midnight Sun. So his effect is if you control only one control one monster and it's a Blackwing monster, other than Gladius the Midnight Sun, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. So he's a good defensive wall to protect you from taking life weight damage, and also you can use him to go into some level 6 synchro plays. Next, one Blackwing, Harmatan the Dust. So his effect is if you control a Blackwing monster other than Harmatan, you can special summon him from your hand, and then you can only special summon one Harmatan the Dust once per turn this way. And then when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one other Blackwing monster you control, increase this card's level by that monster's. So, let's say you have a Gale on the field, and you special summon Harmatan, special summon them to the field, and then you target Gale. Harmatan gains 3 stars, making him a level 5. So, that's really cool if you want to go into some synchro plays, which is nice. Next, one Blackwing Orochi the Squall. Like other Blackwing monsters, if you control a Blackwing monster other than it, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then you can do that once per turn. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as a Synchro Material monster, which in this deck you'll mostly be using it for that, you can target one monster on the field and change that target's battle position. So that's like that last effect's kind of all meh, but you're mostly going to be using him to synchro summon level 7 monsters, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that in the later part of the video. So for our last monster, and it kind of works because this is a Blackwing deck, but also we are in the Link format. 3 Blackwing, go through the Vague Shadow. So if you guys don't know, this card is an instant Decode Talker. So what you have to do is, if you control no monsters, special summon go through the Vague Shadow, and then you can create 2 Vague Shadow tokens. Use those 2 tokens to make Link Spiders, and then using all 3 of these, you get an instant Decode Talker. So I use this this is like this basically has become a staple in really any Link deck, any deck that wants to use the extra deck. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets limited, or I really hope he doesn't get banned, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets limited. The OCG has him as 1, so that's a possibility. If he does get limited in the near future, I will probably put 1 Panaki, the Waxing Moon in, and then I'll probably put in an extra card. And if he does get banned, I'll do an updated deck profile, but 3 is where you want to go, just so because you want to see him as much as possible for your easy Link summons. Next, for the spells, 3 Black Whirlwind. This is your searcher of the deck. So when you normal summon a Blackwing monster, you can add a Blackwing monster to your hand with less attack than the monster you normal summoned. So that's really handy and getting your monsters to your hand. Next, 3 Allure of Darkness. Every monster in this deck is a dark type monster. I'm 100% sure, and I'll check right now. Gofu's dark, Oroshi's dark, Harmatan's dark, Gladius is dark, like dark. Literally every monster in this deck is dark type, so you have nothing to worry about not drawing a dark type monster. And this is really good if you already made your Gofu plays and you just have a Gofu sitting in the hand. You can banish that Gofu once you've drawn the 2 cards. Next, 2 Dark Holes, just for board wipes. And I'm actually considering, if Gofu does get limited to 1, that I will be adding that Panaki, and then I will be adding a Raigeki for another board wipe. But in the meantime, 2 Dark Holes, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. I feel you really only need 1 because of one of the Synchro monsters in this deck. Allows you to pop back row, or just any card on the field, which is really handy. So I feel you only need 1. 1 Soul Charge. This is really great to bring your Blackwings back to the field to make easy Synchro plays or easy Link plays. Like if you have 5 Blackwing monsters in your graveyard, you can use lose 5,000 damage, like if that's not a problem. You can use Soul Charge, bring those back, use 3 of those to make a Decode Talker, and then use the other 2 if you can to make a Synchro play, which is pretty cool. Next for the traps, 2 Icarus Attack. What this card does is, by tributing a Winged Beast monster, you can destroy 2 cards on the field, which is really cool. So either popping back row or opponent's monsters. 1 Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. If you control a Blackwing monster, destroy all face-down spells and traps your opponent controls. And then if you control exactly 3 Blackwing monsters, you can activate this from your hand. Really good for back row removal. 1 Black Sonic, which is actually similar to Anti-Reverse, but I'll explain it. So, when an opponent's monster declares an attack on a Blackwing monster you control, banish all face-up attack position monsters your opponent controls, and if you control exactly 3 Blackwing monsters and no other monsters, you can activate this card from your hand. So that's really handy. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole to get rid of, monsters with high attacks, and you can banish it. And then finally, 1 Solemn Warning to negate special summoning of monsters. So, that's it for the main deck. Now we're going to be going into our extra deck. 1 Assault Blackwing Sahaya the Rainstorm. I only use 1 of these just because I think you really only need 1. So he's got kind of like a long effect. If you use Blackwings as material, this monster becomes a tuner. And then when this card is Synchro Summoned, you can target another Assault Blackwing monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So that's good if you have like a Rikori or a Chidori in your graveyard. And you can basically Synchro Summon this in defensive position in your extra monster zone or link zone, and then special summon that monster, that other Blackwing monster in any of your other zones. And then also during your main phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there, you can banish 1 other Sahaya the Rainstorm to special summon this card. So that effect is only good if you're running multiple of these. I only run 1, so I don't use that effect. 2 No Thungs. He's one of the best cards in this deck. Because what you can do with this card is, when he's Synchro Summoned, your opponent loses 800 life points, but also you can lower the attack and defense of an opponent's monster by 800. And then also, he allows you for an extra normal summon, so you can use Black Whirlwind again. So that's really cool. And then there's also a combo with him that I'll go over at the end of the video. Next, 1 Assault Blackwing Chidori the Rain Sprinkling. This card's really good for like mid-game or close to the end game. So if he is Synchro Summoned using Blackwing monsters, he can be treated as a tuner while face up. And then he gains 300 attack for each Blackwing monster in your graveyard. Again, why I said later game. And then when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target a Winged Beast Synchro monster in your graveyard, except Chidori, and special summon it. So again, you want to use him either mid-game or late game, because special summon him, he gets high attack from all the Blackwing monsters in your graveyard, and then if he's destroyed, you can bring back a Blackwing monster, or Synchro monster. So that's really cool. Next, we have one of my favorite cards, Assault Blackwing Rikuri the Rain Shower. So, like Chidori and Sahaya, if he is Synchro Summoned using Blackwing monsters, he is treated as a tuner while face up on the field. And then once per turn, you can target cards you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of Blackwing monsters you control and destroy them. So if you have like 3 other Blackwing monsters on the field and you have Rikuri, you can destroy 3 cards your opponent controls. And this is the card I was talking about, why I run only 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, because if you can get him out, you can basically clear the field. So yeah, that's really cool. One Blackwing Armor Master, he's basically kind of like a tank almost, or a blockade, I guess. He cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage involving this card. And then if this card battles an opponent's monster, you place a wedge counter on it, and then at the end of and then like later you can remove that wedge counter, and that opponent's monster gains 0, or it loses all of its attack and defense. So that's really cool, and it loses it until the end phase. You'd probably be using, if you can, you'd be using a Soul Blackwing Sahaya the Rainstorm and Blackwing Armor Master to go into an Onimaru, which I will go into in just a moment. So, keep going. Next, one Blackwing Tamer, Obsidian Hawk Joe. He's actually the only warrior monster in this deck, which is really funny. He has a great effect. Once per turn, you can target one level 5 or higher Wing Beast type monster in your graveyard, and you can special summon it so basically in Link format, you can special summon it to one of your main monster zones. And I'll go over a cool combo you can do at the end, or with this card. And then basically, if this card is targeted by a card effect or by battle, and you have another Blackwing monster, you can redirect that targeted effect or attack to another monster to protect this card, but you can only do that once per turn. Next, one Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. He has 3,100 attack. He can't be targeted by effects except during your main phase 2, so that's really cool. And then next, for the last of our synchros, one Assault Blackwing Onimaru the Divine Thunder. And so if he is synchro summoned using Blackwing monsters, he is treated as a tuner. He cannot be destroyed by card effects, so that's really handy. You can target one Blackwing monster in your graveyard. This card's level becomes the same as that monster's, and you can only use the effect of Soul Blackwing Onimaru Thunder once per duel. And then if this card that was synchro summoned using only synchro monster attacks, this card gains 3,000 attack during the battle phase, during the damage step only. So he becomes a 6,000 attack beater, which is awesome. And that is only if you synchro summon him using synchro monsters. So in this case, Sahaya the Rainstorm, and then also Armor Master, or I guess you can maybe use him. Yeah, you can use Obsidian Hawk Joe if you didn't have Armor Master. So that's really cool. Next, for our links, we have 3 Link Spiders because of Gofu. The Gofu combo of special summoning Gofu, using 2 tokens to make 2 Link Spiders, and then using that and the 2 Link Spiders to make Deco Talker, and we run 2 Deco Talkers in this deck. So, that sums up the extra deck. I'm going to quickly go into that combo that I was talking about, so just want to get some cards that will suit how to do that combo. So if you'd hold one moment. And alright, so here's what you can do. And we're gonna kind of do this with how you would in Link format. So what you're gonna need for this is making sure I have everything. So by having these cards in hand, or like a variation of these cards in hand, it works really well. So what you're going to need is 2 monsters so 1 tuner and then 1 non-tuner, and their levels should equal level 6. So whether this is a Blizzard of the Far North and a Chris, or a Blizzard and a Boar of the Spear, or a Kalute and a Gale, doesn't matter as long as it equals a level 6, and you can easily bring those to the field. 1 Orochi the Squall, and then 1 Gofu to easily set up your Link plays. And actually, this works without Gofu, but we're going to go over it with Gofu. So what you want to do is special summon Gofu to the field. You create 2 tokens. Then you turn those tokens into Link Spiders. You then link those monsters. Oh, I'm sorry, I already messed up this combo. I am an awful person. I am so sorry. Please forgive me, all of you. Cool. I mean, technically this still could work, but this is just an easy way. So, you have your Link Spiders and your Gofu. Next, what you're going to want to do is summon, in this case, summon Blizzard. So, your current board is one Link Spider in the extra monster zone, another Link Spider, Gofu, and then Blizzard. Next, special summon Chris the Crack of Dawn, because you have a Blackwing monster. And then now you can go into your Decode Talker, right there. Next, sync by using Blizzard the Far North and Chris the Crack of Dawn, synchro summon No Thung into your linked zone. Then, by special summoning Orochi the Squall, you can then use these two to synchro summon into Obsidian Hawk Joe, or if you have another Blackwing monster in your hand, like I'll just pull one out of random. One Shura, you can then normal summon Shura because of No Thung's effect, so you have another Blackwing on the field. Next, you can use Blackwing Orochi the Squall and No Thung the Starlight. Synchro summon Obsidian Hawk Joe. Use Obsidian Hawk Joe's effect to resurrect No Thung, and there you go. So but if you have those cards, this is basically your board. Or even if you don't have another monster, this is your board. So that's really cool. The fact you can have a Decode Talker, Obsidian Hawk Joe, and a Thung, all thanks to, and I'll count on how many cards that was. 4 cards, or you can even do it 3 with 3 cards, and you'll still have these 2. So, anyways, guys. That's the end of this deck profile. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you have any suggestions on any changes to the deck, what you guys think of it, or just your thoughts, comment them down below. I'm always interested in feedback. And yeah, so like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.